Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jaya Pataka Swami Maharaj on June 22nd, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Pangung langayate girim Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. That's it. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, today we will continue with the compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled as Achyutananda glorifies Sri Chaitanya Deva to refute the statement of Sri Advaita Prabhu, Part 2. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda 4.167.
তবে ভক্তিবশে তুষ্ট হইয়া তাহানে তত্ত্ব উপদেশ প্রভু কহেন আপনে।
When Lord Advaita
was satisfied
was satisfied
by his son's devotional service,
by his son's devotional service,
he personally imparted it
the truth. He personally imparted in the truth.
Sri Advaita Acharya personally gave instruction on the absolute truth.
Advaita Acharya personally gave instruction
of the absolute truth.
Brahma
received the knowledge.
Just as Brahma received the knowledge from Lord Advaita. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead was satisfied by Brahma's devotional service, Vishnu imparted
knowledge of the absolute truth.
Lord Vishnu imparted the knowledge. Lord Vishnu personally imparted the knowledge of absolute truth to Lord Brahma. CB Antya 4.168.
তবে ভক্তি বশে তুষ্ট হইয়া তাহানে তত্ত্ব উপদেশ প্রভু কহেন আপনে। তবে সেই ব্রহ্মা প্রভু আজ্ঞা করি শিরে সৃষ্টি করি সেই আজ্ঞান কহেন সবারে।
Then Lord Brahma
implemented the instructions of Lord Vishnu,
taking them on his head.
Lord Brahma
Lord Brahma then began to create. Later, he imparted that spiritual knowledge to everyone. CB Antya 4.169.
সেই জ্ঞান সনকাদি পাই ব্রহ্মা হইতে প্রচার করেন তবে কৃপায় জগতে।
That knowledge
And that knowledge
the four Kumaras, headed by Sanak,
The four Kumaras, headed by Sanaka,
received the knowledge
received that knowledge
of Lord Brahma,
from Lord Brahma,
and they mercifully
and they,
distributed that knowledge to the world,
and they mercifully distributed that knowledge to the
all
world,
over the universe.
all the universe, to all the universe. CB Antya 4.170.
যাহা হইতে হয় আসি জ্ঞানেরও প্রচার তান গুরুকে মতে বলহ আছে আর
How then
How then
can you say
can you say
that he who is the source of the knowledge
that,
of the world
okay, that he who is the source of knowledge, of that knowledge, has a guru? Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 12.15.
জগৎ গুরুতে তুমি করো ঐছে উপদেশ তোমার এই উপদেশে নষ্ট হইল দেশ
He told his father, "Your instruction that Keshava Bharati is the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will spoil the entire country." CC Adi Leela 12.16.
চৌদ্দ ভুবনের গুরু চৈতন্য গোসাঞ্জি তার গুরু অন্য এই কোন শাস্ত্রে নাই
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the spiritual master of the 14 worlds. But you say that someone else is his spiritual master. This is not supported by any revealed scripture. CB Antya 4.171.
অচ্যুতানন্দের পিতার প্রতি অনুযোগ বাপ তুমি তোমা হইতে শিখিবাং কোথা শিক্ষা গুরু হই কেনে বলহ অন্যথা
You are my father and instructing spiritual master. So how can you speak something other than the actual truth? Purport by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada. Sri Achyutananda said, "You are my father and instructing spiritual master. I am supposed to learn the truth from you. So how can you say that Sri Chaitanya, the Lord and shelter of all living entities, has a guru? The Supreme Lord is the spiritual master of everyone. No one is his guru."
So, Achyutananda has although 5-year child,
So Achyutananda is although a 5-year child,
he has such faith in the Lord Chaitanya.
he had such faith in Lord Chaitanya.
He has such spiritual knowledge.
He has such spiritual knowledge.
This is very unusual for a small child.
This is very unusual for a small child. CB Antya 4.172.
শ্রী চৈতন্য পাদপদ্ম নিষ্ঠ বালক পুত্রের গুণে পিতার আনন্দ ও স্নেহ এত বলি শ্রী অচ্যুতানন্দ মৌন হইলা শুনিয়া অদ্বৈত পরানন্দে প্রবেশিলা
After speaking these words,
After speaking these words,
Sri Achyutananda became silent.
Sri Achyutananda became silent.
And hearing his words,
Advaita Prabhu
became filled with transcendental ecstasy.
became filled with transcendental ecstasy. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 12.17
পঞ্চম বর্ষের বালক কহে সিদ্ধান্তের সার শুনিয়া পাইলা আশ্চর্য সন্তোষ অপার।
When Advaita Acharya heard this statement from his 5 years old son Achyutananda, he felt great satisfaction because of his conclusive judgment. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Commenting on verses 13 through 17, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives an extensive description of the descendants of Advaita Acharya. The Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakhanda chapter 1 states that Achyutananda was the eldest son of Advaita Acharya. The Sanskrit book Advaita Charita states Advaita Acharya Prabhu had 3 sons who were devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Their names were Achyuta, Krishna Mishra and Gopala Dasa. And they were all born of womb of his wife Sita Devi. Advaita Acharya also had 3 more sons whose names were Balarama, Swarupa and Jagadisha. Thus, there were 6 sons of Advaita Acharya. Among the 6 sons, 3 were strict followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And of these three, Achyutananda was the eldest. Advaita Prabhu married in the beginning of the 15th century Shakabda, late 15th century AD. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to visit the village of Ramakeli while going from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan during the Shakabda years 1433 to 1434, AD 1511 and 1512, Achyutananda was only 5 years old. The Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakhanda 4th chapter describes Achyutananda at the time as Pascha Barsha Bayish Madhura Digambar, only 5 years old and standing naked. Therefore, it is to be concluded that Achyutananda was born sometime in the year 1428, AD 1506. Before the birth of Achyutananda, Advaita Prabhu's wife, Sita Devi, came to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at his birth. Thus, it is not impossible that she had other 3 sons by Advaita within the 21 years between 1407 to 1428, Shakabda, AD 1486 and 1507. In an unauthorized book named Sitadvaita Charita, published in Bengali, in the unauthorized newspaper Nityananda Daini in 1792 Shakabda, AD 1870, it is mentioned that Achyutananda was a class friend of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to Chaitanya Bhagavat, this statement is not at all valid. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order of sannyasa in the year 1431 Shakabda, AD 1509, he came to the house of Advaita Prabhu at Shantipur. At that time, as stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakhanda chapter 1, Achyutananda was only 3 years old. The Chaitanya Bhagavata further states that the naked child, the son of Advaita Prabhu, immediately came and fell down at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord immediately took him on his lap, although he was not very clean, having dust all over his body. Lord Chaitanya said, "My dear Achyuta, Advaita Acharya is my father. Thus, we are brothers." Before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his spiritual forms during his residence at Navadvipa, He asked Sri Ram Pandit, Srivas Thakur's brother, to go to Shantipur and bring back Advaita Acharya. Achyutananda joined his father at that time. It is said, Advaiter Tanai Achyutananda Naam Param Balak Seho Kande Abhiram. Achyutananda also joined in crying in transcendental bliss. Again, when Lord Chaitanya beat Advaita Acharya for explaining Srimad Bhagavatam from an impersonalist viewpoint opposed to the principles of Bhakti Yoga, Achyutananda was also present. Therefore, all these incidents must have occurred only 2 or 3 years before Lord Chaitanya accepted the sannyas order. As mentioned above, in the Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakhanda, chapter 1, it is stated that Achyutananda, the son of Advaita Acharya, offered his obeisances to the Lord. Therefore, it should be concluded that from the very beginning of his life, Achyutananda was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is no information that Achyutananda ever married, but he is described as the biggest branch of the Advaita Acharya family. From a book named Shakha Nirnayamrita, it is understood that Achyutananda was a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit and that he took the shelter of Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri and engaged in devotional service. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 10 states that Achyutananda, the son of Advaita Acharya, lived in Jagannath Puri, taking the shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadadhar Pandit, in the last years of his life, also lived with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri. There is no doubt, therefore, that Achyutananda was a disciple of Pandit Gadadhar. In other accounts of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing in front of the car during the Rath Yatra festival, Achyutananda's name is to be found many times. It is stated that in the party of Advaita Acharya from Shantipur, Achyutananda was dancing and others were singing. At that time, the boy was only 6 years old. Text 87 of the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika, compiled by Sri Kavi Karnapura, describes Achyutananda as a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit and a great and dear devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to the opinion of some, he was an incarnation of Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva, and according to others, he was formerly the gopi named Achyuta. The Gaur Ganodesha Deepika 88 supports both these opinions. Another book, Narottam Vilas, compiled by Narahari Dasa, mentioned Achyutananda's presence during the festival at Keturi. According to Sri Narahari Dasa, during the last days of his life, Achyutananda stayed in his house at Shantipur. But during the presence of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he lived at Jagannath Puri with Gadadhar Pandit.
This purport explains the history of Achyutananda
This purport explains the history of Achyutananda
and the various shastras in which he is mentioned.
and various shastras in which he is mentioned. Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakhanda 4.173.
বাবা বলি ধরি করিলেন কোলে সিঞ্চিলেন অচ্যুতের অঙ্গ প্রেম জলে
Advaita Acharya explained,
Advaita Acharya exclaimed,
My dear son,
My dear son,
my dear son.
my dear son.
And he put him on his lap and embraced him.
And he put him on his lap and embraced him.
He embraced Achyutananda.
As he embraced Achyutananda,
Soaked his body with tears of transcendental love.
and soaked his body with tears of transcendental love. CB Antya 4.174.
পুত্রকে শিক্ষাগুরু বিচার ও ক্ষমা প্রার্থনা। তুমি সে জনক বাপ, মুই সে তনয়, শিখাইতে পুত্র রূপে হইলে উদয়।
Yeah, you are actually my father.
You are actually my father,
I am actually your son.
and I am actually your son.
Teach me
To teach me,
how to appear as my son.
you have appeared as my son. CB Antya 4.175.
অপরাধ করিল ক্ষমহ বাপ মোরে, আর না বলি মুয়ে কহিল তো মারে।
I have committed an offense. Please forgive me, my dear son. I assure you, I will not say that again. CB Antya 4.176.
Acharya was so pleased
Advaita Acharya was so pleased
to see his young boy
to see his young boy
speaking such truths.
to speaking such transcendental truths.
He was very happy.
That he was very happy. CB Antya 4.176.
আত্মস্তুতি শ্রবণে শ্রী অচ্যুতের লজ্জা। আত্মস্তুতি শুনি শ্রী অচ্যুত মহাশয়, লজ্জায় রহিলা প্রভু মাথা না তোলাই।
Sri Achyutananda Mahasaya
When Sri Achyutananda Mahashaya
heard Advaita Acharya glorify him,
heard Advaita Acharya glorify him,
he felt embarrassed
he felt embarrassed
and hung his head down.
and hung his head down.
So pure devotee naturally and like to hear his own voice.
So a pure devotee naturally don't like to hear his own glories.
So he was very embarrassed
So he was very embarrassed
to hear such words from his father.
to hear such words from his father.
But his father was very happy that he had understood so much transcendental truth.
So the father was so happy that he had understood so much transcendental truth.
So it's natural that he was glorifying his son.
So naturally he was glorifying, so it is natural that he was glorifying his son. Thus ends the chapter entitled Achyutananda glorifies Sri Chaitanya Deva to refute the statement of Sri Advaita Prabhu under the section The Lord's Attempt to Go to Vrindavan.
So Advaita Acharya had 6 sons,
So Advaita Acharya had 6 sons,
and 3 were pure devotees of Lord Chaitanya,
and 3 were pure devotees of Lord Chaitanya,
and 3 were not pure devotees.
and 3 were not pure devotees.
This is described by Srila Prabhupada in the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
So this is described by Srila Prabhupada in the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
So here we see the transcendental qualities of Achyutananda,
So here we see the transcendental qualities of Achyutananda,
even as a small child.
even as a small child.
As the acharyas have sung,
So as the Acharyas has sung,
Varanga Sandigani Vana Nitya Siddha Karimana.
Gorangera Sangi Gana Nitya Siddha Kori Mane,
I accept the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
I I accept the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
as eternal liberated persons.
as eternally liberated persons. Haribol.
That so far as saying one can achieve perfection by practicing sadhana bhakti.
Srila Prabhupada explains that one can achieve perfection by practicing sadhana bhakti,
by getting the mercy of the devotee of the Lord,
by getting the mercy of the devotee of the Lord,
or by the Lord,
or by the Lord,
and that's known as Kripa Siddhi,
and that's known as Kripa Siddhi.
and that one may be born with natural devotion for the Lord.
And one may be born with natural devotion for the Lord,
That's known as Nitya Siddha.
and that is known as Nitya Siddha.
It's obvious that Achyutananda was a Nitya Siddha.
So it is obvious that Achyutananda, he was a Nitya Siddha.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.